In this video, we're going to go through some of the key considerations that need to be assessed when introducing a remote working strategy. We'll be looking at workplace culture, compliance, maintenance, costing, data security, and more.
A remote working model allows businesses to save up to 40% in overhead costs, and it's been around for decades. But in its early stages, it was mostly unique to small startups who maybe lacked a physical office, or the many digital nomads operating out of co-working spaces scattered across the globe. However, things have changed. The COVID-19 pandemic has played a major role in the worldwide shift to remote working. Yet, although it became a requirement imposed upon organisations, the model's standalone benefits have totally surpassed expectations. The transition required some getting used to, but seeing the benefits, employers recognised that laying down a solid foundation was essential. The benefits of a work-from-anywhere model were undeniable. And not just the significant reductions in real estate expenses and electricity and heating costs. So what are the important things to consider when implementing an effective work-from-home strategy? Get your HR team involved early. This is an essential step in helping departments communicate their plans to all of their employees. Transparency and clarity are key to ensuring that employees understand the reasons behind the department's approach and the potential impact it may have on them. Workplace culture and employee experience. The vast majority of employees are accustomed to working in an office setup, and in some cases, a shift to a work culture that involves some degree of isolation can be an issue during the assimilation process. The most jarring shift might come from working collaboratively in person to having to adapt to a collaborative expectation in a physically distant setup. Or it may be identifying how to balance personal and professional lives, as the two can easily blur under these circumstances. The employee experience is integral to a company's success, and the physically distanced nature of teleworking can restrict this dramatically. Employers must think about how to support remote work best practices in the long term. This might be through regular one-on-one phone calls, periodic surveys, or providing employees with sufficient access to information and knowledge tools to nurture their growth. Maintaining compliance. Growing accustomed to the new reality of a telecommuting model also involves adjusting how compliance policies are managed. Made more complex when having to adhere not only to regulations that govern your own country, but the countries where your employees live and work. Some of the steps companies can take to maintain an effective compliance program include updating your compliance policies to reflect a working from anywhere environment, or simply ensuring your employees are aware of data protection regulations. Consider the costs. Your organisation will need to absorb the initial costs of employee working from home. So prior to rolling out a flexible workplace model, companies must identify and outline the costs that will be covered along with the ones that won't. Be mindful of expenses that may be incurred through this new working model. Data security risks. With employees working from their own spaces, unauthorised devices, insecure or public Wi-Fi networks and more put companies' data and their partners' and clients' data at risk. Enforcing cybersecurity safeguards that don't infringe on employee privacy can pose a challenge, more so for businesses who operate globally and must be in compliance with multiple data protection laws. Steps must be taken to mitigate data security risks. Assess your cybersecurity risk profile and work with IT and risk management teams to establish a clear and robust data security playbook. The next phase involves recalibrating and communicating these procedures to your employees and management teams. Key metrics towards remote work success. Establish clear communication. A clear communication strategy is the quintessential stepping stone towards a successful strategy. Project management teams must be precise in communicating their expectations from employees and ensure that their virtual teams have the resources they need to meet these standards. Employers should structure a clear workflow plan on an individual as well as a team level with their staff. Productivity tools such as Monday.com and Asana have proven to be helpful as they allow for ease of reporting, productivity measuring, and business continuity. Define goals and measurable outcomes. While we know that clear communication is integral to any effective strategy, the concept itself can be rather abstract. What exactly entails clear communication? Questions to ask and answer might include anything from what are the agreed upon working hours, to how responsibilities are delegated. Having well-defined responsibilities is essential, but it's also important not to work in silos. Having an open stream of communication is necessary when discussing KPIs and expectations, and makes it easier for employees to monitor their own progress against targets. Create healthy telecommuting environments for your employees. Satisfied employees are the backbone of any successful company, so make it a priority to provide your employees with conditions they need to maintain productivity while working from home. On an intrinsic level, empower employees by reminding them that they are valued and that their voices are heard. Reward good performance, ask for opinions, put aside a few minutes a day to check in on their well-being. Pay attention to changes in behaviour such as lowered KPI scores, increase in sick days. Create a safe and comfortable space for employees to speak openly without strong-arming or interrogating them. Reinforce company culture. When your virtual workforce is scattered across geographic locations and time zones, how exactly do you cultivate an environment of trust and connectedness amongst employees? This could be as simple as organising regular informal Q&A sessions with management, or creating social channels on communications boards to provide a space for interaction and mingling in a light-hearted environment. Implementing an effective remote work strategy takes time and patience, especially when you're working with a globally dispersed team. Our menu of global employment and mobility solutions range from tax and payroll processing, employer of record services, HR outsourcing, and much more, all of which can be customised to suit your specific needs.